Well, on a nice sunny warm day, I have decided, being plenty late with work that I have to do in my regular work life, but I couldn't stand it any longer. I wanted to go ahead and turbocharge this dude. I do want to go over a quick mod that I did that really made this thing run a lot better. Two, in fact. Real basic, simple things. Whether people squawk at it or not, I don't give a rat's ass. I have my instrumentation that tells me how it works, and how it's been working. And before I get into any of that, we're going to put the turbo on it today. And a lot of people make a lot of mistakes. I've been turbocharging vehicles for almost, at least 15 years now. And as usual, go to people who really know their shit, really know what they're doing. I have a friend named Dan, I call him Butch. He's one of the nation's actually best through some competitions he does. So when I have, and anyway, competitions he does extremely well. He's won it numerous times. And so when I have a question, because I'm not super familiar with diesel, I certainly understand the principles and the application and internals and injection and all of that, but but there's certain things I don't know, and when you don't know something, you certainly sure as hell should ask, right? So I go to him. I pick up my book from Dr. John Haywood at MIT, kind of my guru of automotive engineering, who was head of the Sloan School of Automotive Engineering at MIT, and try to go to the best sources I can for information. But anyway, I've been doing this a long time. So there's some things I'm going to do here to kind of keep it simple. This is a simple application, simple engine. And there's a lot of mistakes guys make, and everybody runs, the engine's not designed for turbocharging. Well, you know what? Anything can be turbocharged. You do it within reason, you do it within balance, you do it right. You make sure you got the fueling right, you make sure it's atomized, you make sure all of that stuff. I'm not worried about any of that. I know what I'm going to do. I know how I'm going to go about it. I'm not going to overpressurize the system. I'm not going crazy. I just want to make it a nice, good running vehicle. My goal is, and I don't know if I'll make it or not, but my wife has a turbocharged Kia, and I kind of wanted to at least keep up with that. If I can do that, I'd be super happy. And even if it almost keeps up, I'd be happy, which it should do, based on weight and what I can get out of a little four-cylinder like this. Not going to go crazy. Not going to go. This is not a hot rod. This is for efficiency. I'm not going to mess with the IP much. I'm going to try and burn what's there. Keep it even in terms of its burn. I'm not going to overfuel it. I will have the option to do that should I want more power, and it will all be on the fly. It's a simple setup. I'm not changing much. I'm not taking off the exhaust manifold. I'm not doing a damn thing to change this much at all. I am going to take the battery out, and at least that's my thought for now. I kind of wanted to keep it here. I can put the turbo over here. I'm not sure. I'm still torn on that. I'm going to see what makes the most sense. I'll probably take the battery out and see if I like it or not. I want a short route, but then it's kind of making sense to be over here anyway. I certainly got plenty of room. I am going to water methanol inject it. So I'm really thinking I might just end up putting it over here anyway. So anyway, this is the start of this. I'll do intermittent filming. Step by step isn't necessary. I'll hopefully go through some of that as I go. And that's kind of about it. I'm not going to go crazy with this whole thing. Again, keeping this reasonable and within reason. There's some things that definitely have to kind of change from what I see right off the bat. And I've thought about this a lot. Anyway, let's get started. Forgot to mention that I had taken this where the EGR was and cut and welded that plug in there. That was another thing I did. I had a lot of I forget what the reason was I took that. I think it broke and it was leaking or something. I forget what it was. Anyway, so I've decided the battery is definitely going in the trunk. I kind of want it up here in the main compartment, but like a lot of other Mercedes, they put the battery in the back, and for a reason, room. And I want this to be as efficient as I can, so I'm going to come off the back side of this exhaust manifold, and I will be able to, this is for the EGT gauge, and then the turbo will sit quite well there actually, and I can run both my exhaust in and out and not have to worry about the water lines so far, or any of that, and try to keep it as stock as possible. So that'll come off. We'll cut this tie, and anyway, that's where we're at right now. This is IHI V48. I made this a long time ago for my turbo bike. This is the one that was on the SV650. I have a different one for that now, and I'm going to try this turbo first. I have a different turbo, which is this TD04 with a, and I don't remember the inlet size, but it's pretty good size, but it's a smaller turbo, which would give me a rather large increase in a lower end torque and speed. It also has, I believe, a 13 vane turbine wheel. So I was super tempted to use that. It's got a very small housing, so it would spool up extremely fast. But I'm a little leery of it from that aspect until I get this figured out. Yes, I'm voiding some math, but I do know what they do under certain cubic inch displacement, and I think this one's going to be the better choice overall. Yeah, it'll run a little cooler, a little less heat. Oh, did you cut that? Oh, good. It should come right out. There's something might be holding it here.
Yeah.
Something's probably holding it. I don't know. It's a battery cable or not.
Right here.
Okay.
It's okay. We'll wait.
Okay. All right. So now we have the exhaust down. Cut the pipe, took it off the mount down there, and it's kind of hard to see, but anyway. So now we're going to run our pipe. I'm going to make a weld all. Basically, it'll come off and around and up like so, and right up into this side of the turbo. And that's about it for now. I just took a few things off, but it made sense with a shorter route to come up this side. We also found a bit of rust over here from the inside, so we're going to clean all that up and caulk it in like this, and probably put a little paint on it. It's going to be black for now. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. Anyway.
You weren't recording?
No. Oops, I didn't have the record on. Anyway, that's where the turbo sits for now. It was getting late. All I got, it was somewhat mounted. It'll be moved over slightly. I'll just cut it and slip it and bring it down a bit, and I'll have room for my exhaust out, and we'll connect directly to the existing exhaust pipe. It'll sit slightly lower than that, and I'll have room for my air intake and drain back, and plenty of room. Could almost fit my battery back in, but I won't. Anyway, and it fits just fine. Alright. I forgot I had made a little shield a long time ago that goes on this turbo, which I will use. I'll probably put a little hard to get off now. A liner in it. This is another issue to deal with. Some rust I found over here, just starting to be a problem down here in the corner. I got pipe. This will be coming off about like so, and down through there and right back kind of right where it was. So this is going to be connected here. I'll show that. There we go. Drill and tap that. I put a what's going to go here or in line is a restrictor, and that restrictor will allow me, and mine are variable. I sell them at Yearwood sometimes or online for applications such as these, where you need to reduce the oil flow to about 150 to 200, sometimes 250. This one I do around 200 milliliters per minute. And of course that increases with your RPM so that you don't overflow your oil and start pushing it into the turbo side. This line off your air dump, it's going to stay there. This line will go into the intake side of the turbo, and this will be plugged up. Or I may use it for no, never mind. Here's my hot water line. This is going to go up through here and over with some copper line that I can mold nicely and should fit. I mean, don't want to use steel. Anyway, the other thing was my boost gauge will come off of here. It will tee into my control. So this is a boost controller of my own design. I can set it from 0 to whatever through the boost controller. So this is probably what I will use to work my boost control. That way I can keep it low if I want. I'll always run around 3 pounds. And then if I want to go up, probably no more than 10 on this, based on the connecting rods. Oiling, of course, yes, it does matter on the pistons, but I'm not hot rodding. So again, you know, your heat is controlled based on your oiling, yes, but it's also based on what you're doing with it. Going up 10 is a lot in your effective compression ratio, which is where you're at. Granted, we drop quite a bit up here at my elevation. It takes 3 pounds at the gauge to meet stoichiometric at sea level, 14.7. But anyway, that's for another day. Anyway, so the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take this off and route a pipe from here to there. I'm going to have a slip-on that will go on here, and then it will be bolted in with 2 bolts, so it won't go anywhere, but it'll be a tight fit here that will meet the diameter of this, which is about the same as that. Or I may just do what I did on my bikes, is that you bolt that in so it doesn't pop off under pressure, and they seal well. So we'll see what that looks like. Anyway, that's what we're doing. I'd gotten rid of some leaks. Unfortunately, I have one on the rear main, I think, or somewhere. I can't quite figure out where it's coming from. I use an O-ring here from one of my transmission kits, and this is how clean it stays when you have it on there. So I don't have that annoying ass leak there. So anyway, that's where we're at. So where we're at now is I'm going to build a restrictor, an oil restrictor that's going to come off over here, and will sit about like so. Can't really see, can you? Anyway, things I have left. This is day 4, I guess. Things I have left are my downpipe. My wastegate. I was calling it something else in the other part of the video. But my wastegate actuator. may do something different there too. It's kind of bugging me. This is taking longer than I wanted. Still have to hook up my boost gauge. I was going to run off manifold vacuum, but I'm going to use pressure side with the turbo for that. And that will go into my boost controller, which I still have to make. So I got a little machining to do. And this will still be hooked up, but it'll go to the inlet side of the turbo. The oil scavenging can. So it's just plugging away. I rerouted my water line to here. I'm going to strap it up a little bit so that it's as far away from that heat as possible. I'm going to wrap the tail part of the exhaust manifold and just keep as much heat down as I can. Once I got it running and I like the position, then I'll go from there as far as that goes. This is connected. There will actually be 2 screws here, which also will help hold this in. I've known these will blow off once they get a little oily. Of course, we're talking with diesel anyway. So there'll be 2 bolt holes here that will be threaded with little, probably just 6 6x24 threaded little screws, and they'll help keep that from blowing off under pressure. Still have to build that, get my air can on here. So it's taking a little bit more than I wanted, but that's okay. It's just the way it is. Alright, this will be for my drain back. Bingo. 2 will go on the ends of the pipe. And that will go more like that. It's supposed to be a little bit of an angle. I guess it is, but not as much angle as I should have. This is actually a little piece of clay I had. I set up here to see where I was with my clearance on this thing. Anyway, so I still have this to deal with tomorrow. I do have my piece that I machined. Goes back into my drain, goes back into the pan. I gotta go get a piece of earwood tomorrow for that. Alright, this is where I get all my stuff locally, because it matters. Tons of stuff in here, man. That's why I like coming here. All right, did we get me figured out here? What's the new balance?
New balance. So we got.
Let's see. Been coming to this store for 30 years. You always have pretty much everything you need. Can't beat it. Earwood Speed and Custom. And now I'm about 60% of the way. These get a little harder to do over time. And it just is what it is. They just get a little harder to do over time. I don't like leaks at all. So hopefully I won't have any leaks. And I got a couple things to tidy up. I still have my down pipe, as some people call it, or to get to my exhaust. Alright. Oh, quick update from my other day here. Still have the downpipe to do. Got my battery in the back. Clean this up a little bit here. And I'm going to clean this and fill this in. And I got my air out, so I'm going to clean that up a little bit. And actually get a little paint on it. Boy, this has been a lot of work. So I've got my wire all the way to the back. Took it off. Goes underneath the seat. So not that much is exposed underneath. And battery sits here. My cable comes out from in there quite nicely. And this will just sit here. We'll get it, make it fit right. And that's about it. At least that's a big part of today. And had one fitting that wasn't right. So I get my seat back in and get it back to normal looking. Oof. Always a bit of work. Always a bit of work. Just to go a little faster, huh? Yeah. Oh well. Got that in. This fitting was wrong. So you gotta go back to your woods and get that replaced. And that should do it.